Hello everybody, Mannix here. Got another little knife review for you right here, right now. But first, feel free to subscribe, hit that little bell notification if you do not want to miss weekly knife and gun videos. This one's on an old pal of mine. Very affordable, very simple, very small, very effective. The Kershaw Cinder. It's essentially what I would consider to be a keychain knife. It's something you throw on your car key set or whatever kind of key set you have, or anything you'd put on a keychain of sorts. Hell, even a necklace or something. I don't know. That's that big old hole right there is for. To have something loop in there. It does not come with any split ring or chain or anything to put on a keychain. Unfortunately, what you see is what you get in the package, at least when I got this. But these things are dirt cheap. They retail at $13.99. However, you can get these for about $10 or so. Sometimes outdoors or hardware stores might carry these things for around the $10 range. In fact, on Amazon, currently as I'm filming this, late 2024, Amazon's got a deal where you can get 2 of these for $17.62, a little under $9 each. And these come in different colors as well, but let's get some specs out of the way real quick. Blade length of 1.4 inches, 3CR13 blade steel, appears to be a stonewash finish on there. Liner lock. Blade thickness is 0.088 inches. The handle length or closed length is 2.66 inches. We have a GFN handle scale. Overall length, 4 inches. Weighs 0.9 ounces, so not even 1 ounce. Handle thickness, 0.34 inches. And then we got a bottle opener right there, which I will talk about in just a moment. In fact, let me just weigh this for giggles. I know it's not even 1 ounce, according to Kershaw's official website, but let's just see what this guy has to say. It's very, very lightweight. 0.92 ounces, so they were very, very close there. I'm just going to say 0.9. No up and down. There's a little bit of side to side, but you can adjust that out. I'm sure I'd never really mess with the pivot screw on this knife. I just think it's kind of redundant. So now I've had a handful of different keychain knives over the years, and I always rotated them out through my EDC, but this one stayed on my car keys and still stays on my car keys. There's 2 reasons why this one stayed on my car keys for the longest. I'd still like to try new ones, but the first reason being, you can get a full grip on this sucker, almost a full grip right there. Look how much handle I have to hold on to, including the exposed metal right here that is meant for the split ring or paracord, whatever you want to loop in there. And then the extended part of the ricasso of the blade that is unsharpened. They really took advantage of that. You can get almost a full grip on there. It's just half a grip on my pinky, but my other 3 fingers, including my thumb, all have something to hold on to right there. There's a nice little cant, little ramp for your thumb. So despite being so tiny and so lightweight, so thin, all that good stuff, I really can get a full grip on this thing. And then if you include whatever you have on your keychain, that's almost like a lanyard to hold on to the rest. So I have a full grip despite this teeny tiny little cutting edge right there. It's just barely over 1 inch long, but it's totally effective for EDC utilitarian type tasks. Nice little attention to detail on this guy too. I like the pattern we have going on the handle scales. It's almost grippy. You just kind of see the checkering pattern right there. Sort of an aesthetic design going on there. It's very, very comfortable. You have a nice big ol' indentation for your index finger. Another one that kind of slopes down here. It's very, very ergonomic, despite looking so small and so goofy. It's actually designed to fit the human hand very well. And my large size hands, for a glove reference right there, fits a-okay. It's actually very comfortable for what it is. I do like the jimping we have on the spine of the blade, as well as the exposed steel liners throughout the GFN handles right there. So there's jimping on here, yay, but you're probably never going to use it because I tend to grip it like this, where my thumb basically just misses the jimping. I suppose if you wanted to go down here, I suppose you could use it, but honestly, it's just aesthetic. I think they just boost their sales by putting that on there. People look at it, whoa, look, it has jimping, great. The checkbox is ticked, and more people buy it statistically because of stuff like that. Knife companies catch on to things like that. They catch on to a lot of the BS us knife reviewers say are good in knives, and sales probably increase despite the additions increasing those sales being actually completely useless. But hey, it's there. Good job, Kershaw, for doing that. I like that. It's a nice little attention to detail once again. I guess it was called a sheep's foot blade. It's not going to be great for piercing, although it does have a tip, but for EDC and utility type tasks, that is completely fine. So the first reason being the excellent ergonomics for what this knife's trying to be. The second reason is this liner lock is overexposed. And despite the knife being so small, it's extremely easy to disengage that liner lock because there's such a wide cutout in the GFN handle right there, exposing the skeletonized liner. Good Good job on that, by the way, Kershaw, once again. You cannot possibly miss this, despite the knife being so teeny tiny, which is what you want, I would say, for a keychain knife. You want to keep things as light as possible, as small as possible, but still useful. And that's exactly what this knife is good at. Again, full grip, not even 1 ounce, so small. It takes full advantage of its size completely. They could not have taken more advantage of this. It's absolutely excellent. Kind of wish the jimping was right here, if anything, not there. If they put it here, that's where my thumb lands. I would lock in better, but it is what it is. Who gives a shit? It's a keychain knife. It doesn't matter, I don't think, but that would have gave it extra bonus points, I believe. But yeah, the liner being so exposed there, it's very easy to deploy and close this knife with one hand. There's a lot of little knives out there that are a little bit tricky if they're liner locks because the liner's not fully exposed. You have to kind of do a goofy, like rotate it around and pinch your thumb in there, but not this guy. They absolutely just expose the crap out of this thing, which also makes deployment easier. Full size tip of your thumb, I don't care how big your hands are, you probably won't have an issue opening such a teeny tiny little knife out with just one hand. That's very, very impressive. So we have excellent deployment and disengagement with one hand. We do not need to fiddle around with two hands, so that's great. Great ergonomics. Amazing ergonomics for being so small. It's very ingenious. Took full advantage of that. It's not going to get knocked out of your hand. And the bottle opener, yeah, it's a bottle opener. It's kind of a why not thing. They just stuck it there, exposed the steel backspacer they have right here. Just took advantage of that, made it a bottle opener. Bottle openers are funny. We're still doing the bottle opener thing even in 2024. All these gadgets and EDC items, just they stick bottle openers on them because it's kind of just a why not thing. It goes hand in hand. There's usually a metal backspacer of sorts in there, and they just kind of boop, cut it out. Now it's a bottle opener. Cool. It's just funny to me because bottle openers are so rarely used these days in the 2020s. Hell, even the 2010s, even the 2000s. They just weren't that necessary for carry. And that's funny because most drinks these days, when you're out and about, you know, doing your EDC stuff, sodas even do not need bottle openers. Even the old-fashioned sodas you buy once in a blue moon are usually twist-offs. They don't require bottle openers. You happen to buy a bottle of soda or some kind of drink that requires a bottle opener, yes, the bottle opener on your EDC tools will come in handy for that. But most of the time, we don't do that. It's extremely rare. I don't know anybody who uses bottle openers while they're out and about during their day. It's funny to me how we have so many damn bottle openers on so many tools out there. It's so gimmicky. It's almost like useless, but it is what it is. I guess we don't lose anything by having it. That's why I'm not going to complain about it. And you might think, well, beers still need bottle openers, the whole child protection thing. Yeah, that makes sense. But when you drink alcohol, typically you're at home. And when you're at your home, because it's illegal to drink outside of your home, you have to be in a residence of sorts. You probably have a dedicated bottle opener somewhere in your kitchen. You're not going to grab an EDC knife and open it that way unless it's just for novelty purposes and or your own amusement. Now, the other option is if you're out at a bar, that's technically a public area. You could drink alcohol there, but guess what? The bartender probably, just guessing here, probably opened that bottle for you. You probably don't need to bring out your own bottle opener unless that was like a special request you made. Just wanted an excuse to use your bottle opener that came with your knife you bought. The bottle opener thing is really, really funny to me. I wish we'd just come out with some other tool that would just be like more useful, like a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. The Kershaw diode, I believe it's called, very similar to this knife, but it has a flathead screwdriver on it instead of a bottle opener. I mean, honestly, you could probably just get that one instead, but I've never messed with it. Regardless, 3CR13 blade steel, that's the same stuff that is on the Spyderco Honeybee, the Spyderco Bug, the Spyderco Grasshopper. I'm sure they have a handful more. It's been so long since I had any of those, but very, very, very soft blade steel. Even softer than its older brother, the ACR13 MOV that most of us are used to. It's very cheap, it's very soft, it's very simple, it gets razor sharp, cuts through paper like air, but dulls very quickly. But again, for a keychain EDC backup style knife, that is totally adequate. I'd be very surprised if somebody wanted S35VN on this guy or something. I doubt you'd even use this knife so much to the point that you would notice it getting dull that quickly. So totally fine. Also keeps costs down. That's a big thing I always like to emphasize, keeping costs of knives down so they're not hundreds of dollars for something you're afraid of carrying because you don't want to get it scratched and it basically just sits in the display case and you never touch it because you're afraid of ruining it. I like knives that are more on the affordable side and useful. So I think this is a totally good blade steel option. I like the stonewash finish. It's kind of goofy looking, but it's more function over form. Again, totally functional. Sure, we got the bottle opener on there. It doesn't damage the ergonomics whatsoever, I don't think. So lightweight, so cheap, less than 10 bucks, man. You cannot go wrong. You might as well just throw this on your keychain. Hell, you want multiple knives to throw on your keys? this could be one of them. Big ol' overexposed lanyard hole right there as well. It's fantastic. I still am using this knife. It's been years. I want to say 5 years or something, 6 years. I can't even remember. I've had this for so long. I love that overexposed liner lock right there. Like, they really kept all of the parts of the knife that our human hands and fingers have to interact with up to full adult size. One of the problems I have with a lot of knives that are really small, they also decrease the size typically of all of the pieces you have to actually interact with to get it to function correctly. This, they actually kept everything up to adult size. That's the way I put it, despite the size overall of the knife being small. A plus keychain knife. So affordable. You can flick it open if that's what you wanted to do. It works so well. Excellent backup keychain folder. That is the Kershaw Cinder. What do you think of this knife? Do you think it's a great keychain knife? What do you think of the bottle opener thing? Should we keep doing that, or do you also agree maybe it's time to move on from the bottle openers? Can you think of any other tool I may not have mentioned that would be more useful instead of a bottle opener? Do you have the Kershaw diode? Do you like that one more? Less? Why? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Mannix out.